Your birds are hunched in the corner. Droppings everywhere, watery, sometimes green, sometimes streaked. You've already spent money on antibiotics twice this month and nothing's holding. Here's the thing. Nobody tells new farmers. By the time you're treating diarrhea with synthetic antibiotics for the third round, the bacteria causing it have usually already adapted to beat that drug. You're not failing as a farmer. The tool you're using is failing you. There's a fermentation trick, 1 teaspoon mixed into feed or water, that farmers in parts of Asia and West Africa have used for generations before antibiotics existed at all. It's fermented ginger paste, and it doesn't just mask the symptom. It goes after the gut environment that's letting the pathogen win in the first place. Before we get into how to make it, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from today. I want to know how many of us are dealing with this same problem right now. Let's be honest about what bacterial diarrhea actually is in a flock, because most farmers treat the symptom without understanding the disease. When you see liquid droppings, sometimes with mucus, sometimes with undigested feed in them, that's usually a sign the gut lining is inflamed and the normal bacterial population in the intestine has been knocked off balance. Pathogens like E. coli and Salmonella don't need much of an opening. A stressed bird, a dirty waterer, a sudden feed change, any of these can tip the gut from balanced to overrun within 48 hours. Here's what most farmers miss. Antibiotics don't distinguish between the bacteria that are hurting your bird and the bacteria that are protecting it. A broad-spectrum antibiotic wipes out both. So even when it works, you're left with a gut that has even less natural defense than before, which is exactly why so many farmers report the diarrhea, coming back 2 or 3 weeks later, as sometimes worse. And there's a bigger problem sitting underneath all of this. Antimicrobial resistance in poultry pathogens has been rising for years, and it's not a future problem. It's already showing up on small farms as antibiotics that used to clear an infection in 2 days, now taking a week, or not working at all. That's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to have something else in your toolkit that doesn't rely on killing everything indiscriminately. That's where fermented ginger comes in. Not as a replacement for veterinary care in a severe outbreak we'll talk about when you still need a vet, but as a frontline low-cost tool that works with the gut instead of against it. Ginger has been studied for its effect on digestive bacteria, but fermentation changes the equation entirely, and this is the part most poultry content skips. Raw ginger contains gingerol and shogaol, compounds with documented antibacterial activity against several gram-negative bacteria, the same family E. coli belongs to. But raw ginger alone passes through a bird's digestive system fast. Fermentation does 2 things to change that. First, the fermentation process, letting ground ginger sit with a sugar source and thyme, produces lactic acid bacteria, the same beneficial family found in yogurt and fermented vegetables. These aren't just passive riders. They actively compete with pathogenic bacteria for space and nutrients along the gut wall. Think of it like reseeding a lawn with grass thick enough that weeds can't find room to take root. Second, fermentation lowers the pH of the paste itself. A more acidic gut environment is hostile to a lot of the bacteria causing watery droppings, while the beneficial lactic acid bacteria thrive in exactly that environment. So you're not just adding an antibacterial compound, you're actively shifting the terrain in the gut towards something that favours recovery. Picture a 300-bird layer flock where droppings have gone watery across maybe a third of the birds. A farmer treating with antibiotics alone is fighting the pathogen. A farmer adding fermented ginger paste to the feed is fighting the pathogen and rebuilding the gut's own defense system at the same time. That second approach is why recovery tends to hold instead of relapsing 2 weeks later. I want to be clear about something. The instantly stop diarrhea framing is about visible stabilization, droppings firming up and appetite returning, which farmers commonly report within 24 to 48 hours of starting treatment. Not a literal instant fix. If you're seeing blood in the droppings, severe lethargy, or losses already happening, that's beyond a home remedy. Get a vet or a diagnostic lab involved immediately, because that can signal something more aggressive than a routine bacterial scour. Now, here's the process, step by step. This isn't complicated, but the timing matters. Rush the fermentation and you just have spicy ginger, not the bacterial culture that's doing the real work. Here's what you need. Fresh ginger root, washed and unpeeled, about 200 grams for a small flock batch. A natural sugar source, raw cane sugar or unrefined brown sugar, roughly equal weight to the ginger. Clean, non-chlorinated water. A glass or ceramic container, avoid metal, it can react with the acids produced during fermentation. And a breathable cover, cloth or paper towel secured with a rubber band, not an airtight lid. Here's the process. Grate or blend the ginger into a coarse paste. Don't liquefy it completely, you want texture. Mix the ginger with the sugar in roughly equal parts by weight. The sugar feeds the fermentation. This isn't a sweetener, it's fuel for the bacteria. Add water until the mixture has a loose, spoonable paste consistency, not soup, not dry. Cover with a breathable cloth and leave at room temperature, away from direct sunlight for 5 to 7 days. Stir once daily. You'll notice small bubbles forming by day 2 or 3, that's fermentation activity starting, and it's a good sign, not spoilage. By day 5 to 7, the paste should smell tangy and slightly sour rather than sharply spicy. That sour note is the lactic acid doing its job. Strain out any large fibrous pieces if you want a smoother mix in, though many farmers leave it as is for feed mixing. Store the finished paste in the refrigerator. If you have access to one, it'll keep for several weeks. Without refrigeration, use it within about a week and keep checking for any unpleasant, rotten smell, which would mean it's gone bad rather than fermented properly. Sour and tangy is correct. Rotten and foul is not. This is where farmers either get strong results or waste their effort, so pay attention to the ratios. For adult birds, layers, broilers past 4 weeks, 1 teaspoon of the fermented paste mixed thoroughly into feed per bird per day, split across morning and evening feeding if possible. Mix it directly into a small batch of feed first, then blend that into the larger feed supply so it distributes evenly rather than clumping in one spot. For chicks and younger birds, reduce to roughly 1/4 teaspoon per bird, since their digestive systems are smaller and more sensitive. Dilute the paste into their water instead of dry feed. About 1/2 teaspoon dissolved per litre of drinking water works well for a small chick batch. Continue for 3 to 5 consecutive days once you see droppings firming up, even after symptoms improve. Stopping the moment symptoms ease is one of the most common mistakes. The gut needs a few extra days to fully rebalance, not just enough time to stop the visible symptom. A mistake I see constantly: farmers dump the paste straight into a big feed bin without premixing, so half the flock gets a strong dose and half gets almost none. Premix into a small portion every single time. If you're not seeing any improvement in droppings or appetite within 48 hours, that's your signal to stop relying on the home remedy alone and bring in a vet for proper diagnosis. This could be coccidiosis, a viral cause, or a bacterial strain resistant enough to need a targeted antibiotic. There's a financial angle here that a lot of farmers underestimate. Chronic diarrhea doesn't just risk mortality, it quietly eats into weight gain and feed conversion the entire time it's untreated, because the bird is burning energy fighting infection instead of converting feed into muscle or eggs. A broiler batch that recovers from a bacterial scour 2 weeks late might survive, but it often comes out of the cycle noticeably underweight compared to target, which shows up directly in your sale price. For layers, prolonged gut stress tends to show up as a dip in egg production that can persist even after the diarrhea itself clears, because the bird system stays in a recovery state rather than a productive one. So when farmers ask whether a low-cost remedy is worth the effort compared to just grabbing antibiotics, the honest answer is that it's not really either-or. In a mild to moderate outbreak, fermented ginger paste alone is often enough, and it protects the gut flora that antibiotics would otherwise damage. In a severe outbreak with mortality already happening, you may still need an antibiotic from a vet, but giving the fermented paste alongside it can help the gut recover faster afterward instead of staying wiped out. A few honest notes, because not every attempt at this works the first time. Some farmers ferment the ginger too long, beyond 7 to 10 days, and it starts to lose potency or develop an off smell. Fermentation has a window, it's not the longer the better. Others skip the sugar, thinking it's unnecessary, and end up with a paste that never properly ferments, because there's nothing feeding the bacterial culture. The sugar is consumed during fermentation. What's left in the finished paste is mostly the bacterial byproducts, not residual sugar-feeding pathogens in the gut. And a few farmers expect this to work on viral diarrhea the same way it works on bacterial diarrhea. It won't, and that's an important distinction, because if your flock has a viral cause, no antibacterial remedy is going to resolve it. If droppings aren't improving and you're seeing respiratory symptoms alongside the digestive ones, that's a signal pointing away from a simple bacterial scour. This isn't a miracle cure, and I want to be straight with you about that. What it is a low-cost, low-risk first response that works with your flock's biology instead of just nuking everything in the gut and hoping for the best. For a lot of small and mid-sized farms, that's the difference between an outbreak that costs you a few sick days and one that costs you a meaningful chunk of your flock. If this helped, hit like, drop a comment with your own experience treating poultry diarrhea. Natural or otherwise, share this with another farmer who needs it, and subscribe for more of these low-cost, science-backed remedies every week.